Well, hello everyone. Happy Monday. I am Sarah BNWV with you tonight with Mountain Mamas on election eve. So welcome everybody. We've got Pac Pro DL Hamilton with us, Patty Hamilton, Brittany Bartlett, and we'll be having some other folks coming and going as well. And way to go, Brittany. That's awesome. So yeah, we are down to the wire, folks. If you're joining us live, welcome and thank you. If you're watching on the replay, thank you as well for joining us. And if you have questions, always just let us know, pop them in the comments there, or if you're watching on the replay, just send us an email. We'll be happy to answer those. So let's see who else we've got. We've got Barbara here as well. So we're going to go ahead and get started. DL, or you want to get things off to the start?
I'll just go in the background in the hopes that more Mountain Mamas will show up and come on at the end. But to remind everyone that Mountain Mamas was formed so that the candidates could get to know each other and support each other, but they speak for themselves. And as you know, it's been a pretty stressful week, and there might be a lot of mamas out doing some last minute things before the big election. And I know Mountain Mama Robin Cutlip is having a birthday, so maybe she'll come in here and give us a birthday kiss, but she might have some better things to do tonight. So you can just put me in the background, and hopefully there'll be more mamas on, and I'll see you all at the end of the hour.
On the flip side. All right. Well, we're going to start off with Patty Hamilton. We've got some updates on absentee ballots and election information. So take it away, Patty.
Thank you, Sarah. Hi, everybody. Beautiful day today. And I have some really kind of fascinating statistics and demographics for you. There were 262,241 requests for absentee ballots. So that's a final total.
Wow.
And of that total, 206,057 have been returned. 104,913 Democrats returned their ballot, 26,022 parties returned their ballot, and 68,402 Republicans returned their ballots. So again, total of 206,057. This is as of today, June 8th. Now, and of course, they're still coming in. That's not a final because they can be postmarked election day.
Right.
So that means that as of now, there are 56,184 ballots still out there not returned. So I want to emphasize to anyone who is listening, or someone you know who has not returned their ballot, make sure they get it postmarked by election day. And I honestly don't think that means like taking it at 11:59 on election day to a little post office where there's nobody there because it's not postmarked. So, but it can be postmarked June 9th and be counted for the canvass. Some people have been saying they haven't received a ballot. If you haven't, call your county clerk, and you can go tomorrow. I really hate that this is happening. I think it's the size of the ballot, the volume of the mail across the state. I'm not really sure, but you can go to the poll tomorrow and tell the poll worker you did not receive your ballot. Now, they can't just take your word for it. You will have to vote a provisional ballot. But let's say on Thursday, you get your ballot. Take it to the clerk and show that you did receive your ballot. Turn it in. They will void it, and then your provisional ballot can be counted. So not all is lost. And trust me, county clerks and county commissioners, they want you to get your ballots in. They do not want those provisional ballots. So be sure to do that. And be sure to get it in there in time to get a postmark. Now, the number who early voted in person, that's 33,450. And that should include most of Saturday's total. So that's a pretty good total. So the total who have voted right now is 232,787 people. So that is,
Wow.
yeah, of the likely voters, which is like 700,000, that's a pretty large number have already voted before Election Day. But what I found most interesting is the demographics of the vote so far. In gender demographics, so far, 50,920 males have voted, whereas 70,051 females have voted. So we win. And then there's 383 unknown in that. So that's the gender demographic. So the women are voting more than the men, at least absentee and early. Voting history in primaries. Those of us who pay attention to elections and voting history, you know, you have a likely voter, an inactive voter, and so on. An inactive voter would be someone like this is the first primary they voted in. They have voted in 0 out of the last 3 primaries, but they voted in this one. 23,563 people. Then you have another group. They have voted in 1 out of the last 3 primaries. So that would be what? 2018, 2016, 2014. So those 3 primaries. 24,657 of with people with that voting history voted early or absentee. And then the 2 out of 3 of the last primaries, 31,315. And the ones that us as candidates like, the active voters, the likely voters, the reliable voters that voted 3 of the last 3 primaries, 41,819 of them voted early or absentee. But the one that just blows my mind, and Brittany, it'll kind of make you mad, I think. You're like, what is wrong with my age group? Yeah, 18 to 24. This is how many have voted up to now, either early or absentee, 3,508. Now, my age group worked hard to get that 18-year-old vote, to get it changed from 2021, but they're not using it. 25 to 34, 6,014. 35 to 49, 13,734. 50 to 64, 32,697. Now wait for this. This will blow your mind. 65 plus. Yay us. 65,527 have voted. Now I'm in that age group, and this makes me so upset. I hate this. I hate that younger people aren't voting. But so I added those other 4 categories up. This is really pitiful. The 65 and plus age group, more of them have voted than all the other age groups combined. So Brittany, if you just want to like
cry.
I mean, that is just maddening. And I think both parties, and I don't have those are, and I'm sorry, those are Democrat statistics. So I assume that probably Republican statistics are similar. I don't think that either party is doing a very good job in reaching the younger voter. And in this case, you know, we're not reaching many people under 65. That's pretty bad. So I found that really fascinating and troubling at the same time. So I think I don't see any reason why that will change a whole lot tomorrow. I think the ratios may stay very much the same. And I think it means, at least for Democrats, I don't have the Republican statistics, work is cut out for us to get that younger group engaged in voting. So there's a challenge for everybody.
Absolutely. Oh, that's dismaying. Well, Brittany, I'm going to throw it to you first because, well, just take it away there, Brittany.
Not
Hi,
your work.
everyone. Hi, Delegate Flesh Hour, Sarah, Patty. So I would say that probably the issue that I hear most is that the candidates that are on the ticket aren't like talking about issues that matter to them. I've seen so many people get involved in my campaign and, Stephen Smith, the West Virginia Can't Wait campaign, I think because they see things that matter to them. They want internet. They want internet that works for all of them. And so our broadband for all plan is really attracting them. And they also are really passionate about legalizing cannabis for recreational use. So I think those are two issues that get younger people out to vote. And I've had several young people say that's the only reason that they've decided to vote is because, our West Virginia Can't Wait candidates are supporting those platforms. I also know that most young people that I know were supporting Bernie Sanders on the Democratic side or Elizabeth Warren. And now that Joe Biden's the likely nominee, they don't see much of a difference between him because the policies that they're passionate about are very, very progressive. And another thing is that most of the young people in my district are non-party. They don't care about party. That's not something that is important to them. They instead want to actually talk about issues that they can see a tangible change in their life. So it's really bad. I mean, forever and ever and ever, young people have voted at a way lower rate than other people. I'm hoping that right now with this, what's going on around the world with the Black Lives Matter movement and the end of police brutality, I think a lot of people are waking up. So I hope that in November, we see a bigger change with that. But yeah, it is really hard. I mean, I'm 29. I should probably know how old I am. And it's hard. It's hard to reach people like me. It's hard to reach me and to actually believe that my issues will be taken care of. And so I think that that's something that I really love too about the West Virginia Can't Wait movement personally is that, this is a movement. This isn't a moment. It really doesn't matter about individual races as much as it matters about changing the conversation and meeting voters where they are and trying to figure out what really matters to them rather than telling them what matters to them. Because I think young people feel very talked down to on occasion. At least that's what I hear in my classroom. And even me as a teacher, I catch myself doing it like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. I was told by someone in my community that I don't have enough experience at age 29 to even be running, so I shouldn't be talking about things. So I think that it's a lot more common for young people to be talked down to, and it's hard for them to trust. But I'm super excited about like the younger generation. Like I said, I was out in Buchanan a week ago yesterday, and when I left, there were 8 of us. When I left, I was older by several years compared to the rest of the people standing out there for a little mini protest. Some were still in high school. So I do have a lot of hope for the younger generation. We just need to translate that desire, that passion for change into actually voting. They need to understand that that is a form of protest as well. So I have most of my volunteers are very young, so I'm hopeful that we can at least make progress in that and start getting that younger generation out, because that for sure is something that worries me, that they have been taught that their opinions don't matter, that their stances are too whatever, too progressive, too left, too unrealistic, too idealistic, whatever it is. I'm there. I'm still in that idealistic thing. And I would say most people who are older now were that way when they were younger too, and can probably remember having that same conversation with people. So yeah, I'm optimistic. But yeah, those numbers don't lie that it is concerning that they're not getting out there as much as they should be, at least to the ballot box. So hopefully we can translate that movement on the streets to votes, which I think is something that is definitely moving forward in terms of how people are making their voices heard. But yeah, I'm super excited for tomorrow. I'm nervous, but I'm mostly excited.
Don't be nervous.
Yeah.
Don't be nervous.
I'm a little, I would say nervous isn't the word, maybe anxious. not nervous about winning or losing, just anxious about the energy, you know, that's there, and all the work that we still have to do tomorrow, and how many hours I'm probably going to be awake tomorrow, waiting for results. So, but yes, I'm so excited. I'm excited to be with you all here. I have to run and do some last minute work, but it was lovely to see you all, and I wish everyone such luck tomorrow. I'm excited because I got to see Delegate Flesh Hour last week. That was lovely to run into you. So,
well, we're going to pitch it to her next. Brittany, thank you so much. I know
you.
It's going to be, we'll be rooting for you, and go get them.
Go young people, please go vote.
Go vote.
Yes. All right, bye everyone.
Bye. Okay, so we are going to bring DL back in, and Delegate Flesh Hour. Let's just talk about what it's like. You've been there on election eve, primary, and the anxiety or the nervous energy that's taken place. And let's talk about your campaign and what's happening. And here we are at the final moments.
Can't hear you.
Oh,
there you go.
Am I unmuted now? My campaign's a little bit different because we have 5 incumbents and 1 new person running, and we have advantages of name recognition and so on. So we feel relatively secure. Although we were just out there in the heat doing honk and wave, it was really, really hot. And we're going to go out tomorrow. We're going to be a little more sensible. We're going to go at 8 to do for 2 hours. I'm sorry. I'm not sure what to do about that. It's a poll, but I'm excited because I think there's a really good chance I'm going to be elected, and I think it would be so great to have more women to join us. I mean, we talked once before about how pitiful the percentage of women is in West Virginia. I was just looking at it again. Nationally, the percentage of women is 26.2% of state legislatures, of state senates, and in the state houses, it's 30.2%. And that increased 5 times by 1971. And here in West Virginia, we've gone backwards. Our percentage is 13.4. It is at the absolute bottom. So we did pretty well on women's issues last year, given that we didn't have anywhere near fair representation. But I'm hoping that some of those women, Patty, that are out to vote this year will vote for people who look like them. Let's keep our fingers crossed, because I think it would be great. We dramatically increased our numbers in the House in 2018, and it would be so nice if we could do that again. I really would like to see somebody like Brittany with all that energy and all those ideas, and several of the other ones. So I'm hoping that the Mountain Mamas have a big success tomorrow or the next day, whenever it is. I think I don't know. I think, with all these people that have already voted, in some ways, maybe it'll go fast, but they'll be feeding a lot of ballots into the machine. And I have spent many very late nights waiting for, the machines break and they have to fix them. It is, you can be really, really anxious, and you don't know whether you're going to be excited or whether you're going to be deflated. You just don't know. And I think it'll be a really late night. What do you think, Patty? Is that what you think?
I agree. And at some point, particularly a close race, which rarely changes. I mean, we've had a few that were 2 or 3 behind on election night, and after the canvass, they come out 2 or 3 or 4 ahead. But I think there could be some close ones with a whole lot more ballots to count at the canvass. If the 56,184 ballots that haven't been returned all come in or postmarked election day, they're not even going to be counted until the canvass. So that could really affect some close races. But yeah, this is.
On the other hand, don't you think those people? I mean, I think those people just won't vote.
I'm kind of thinking if you've had your ballot, although we've had a problem with people having requested them and they haven't received them yet, so that they're in that mix as well. So this is really such an unprecedented election. There will probably be a lot of provisionals voted tomorrow, but I'm kind of wondering, I think you mentioned this, Barbara, are folks going to come out tomorrow? Or is this the biggest bulk of the vote?
I mean, if people do come out tomorrow, then it would be a higher turnout than normal.
Yes.
What's the percentage now, Patty? Did you figure that out? I mean, that seemed really big to me for a primary.
I did figure it out. I'll figure it out while somebody else is talking, because I have I did have that figured out. I don't figure it out with the number of registered voters, because we know we're not going to get 100%. 700,000 is kind of a good likely voter number.
Okay.
Well, I'm just going to throw in here real quick, and I don't want to take up Barbara's time because I know you have to leave early, but I have to say, I hear young people all the time in West Virginia say, we want change, and folks, you want change, but you're not going you're not voting. So, you can complain about it, or you can actually vote and change it. But, you can't make the change you're asking for if you're not out there voting for the people that are talking with you and about the issues that you care about. I mean, we can keep the same people, and you guys, I know how I feel about it. We need more women in this West Virginia House and Senate, and it's that simple. And we need new ideas and young youth, and so we got to if you haven't voted yet, you better get your butt out and vote tomorrow.
When Brittany was talking, I was kind of curious. I don't know, way back decades ago, what the young people voting when I was starting to vote. 2 months before I turned 21, 18-year-olds got the vote. And people worked hard for that to happen. But there's nothing like a war and a draft to get,
yeah.
People were interested. So I thought that was interesting. But I think every younger generation maybe feels this way. I mean, we were the don't trust anybody over 30 generation, and look where we are now. So everybody feels that way. I mean, I don't believe there is a younger generation who has not felt unheard and so forth. But I'm curious. I wonder if that face in the draft is that's a high motivator to get people to vote, and that war went on for many years. So what do you think, Barbara? Do you think that's I
have been really impressed with the number of people, a number of white young people who have been participating in the protests in Morgantown.
Yeah.
We've had protests every single day, and they have been big. To me, that was really encouraging.
That's great.
I think it is. It's a good sign. They get it. They really get it.
And something I want to express to somebody, I had a very odd experience when I was a lobbyist at the Capitol, and I talked to the delegate who did the unheard of, which is get a bill discharged out of committee. It was the medical cannabis bill. And he's not the most likely delegate to have done that. So we were just kind of in an awkward place in the hallway where you sort of have to say something. And so I said, why did you decide to do that? And he said, I did it for my sister. She had an illness. And so you cannot stereotype who might do what when. Like, just because somebody doesn't answer all the things that you want to hear prior to an election, people get in the legislative arena and they learn new information. They change their minds. They do things for personal reasons, like his was, that had nothing to do with a partisan reason. So and maybe that observation comes with with being around for a while and watching the process. But that's what I'd like to tell young people is don't, listen for what you want to hear, but just because you don't hear it does not mean that a person does not support some of the changes that you want as well.
Well, I need to get off, guys, and if there's anybody else that can jump in, that would be great. Thank you, DL. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Patty, for running. And thanks to all the Mountain Mamas. Is this the last Mountain Mama show, or are we going to have one next week?
We're going to do one next week to debrief and sign off for the summer.
Okay. Sounds good. Well, again, thank you very much. And please vote for the Mountain Mamas, all of them.
Yes.
And thank you, Barbara. Good vibes tomorrow.
On that note, I will say that I still have a lot of these postcards left over, and I'm kind of in the waste not, want not, and I really don't want to put an X over any of these faces. I'm hoping all 25 of them are moving on to the general election ballot. But since they do seem to be busy, we thought we would maybe try introducing you to the other Mountain Mamas via their page on the website, which is also a way for you to see Mountain Mama's new website. So before I turn it over to Sarah, our producer and the one who could pull this off if any of us can, I just wanted to say that I was one of the ones who may have to vote provisionally. I'm going to wait and see what happens with the mail tomorrow. But the receipt of my ballot request is logged in as June 1st, which was kind of a late delivery. And they said they sent it out on June 2nd, and I have not received it. So there's going to be a lot of us that are provisional voters. So I have a feeling it might be a long week for the breaks. And I now see we have another Mountain Mama here. So let's give her a few minutes before we put up the website. And I'll still come back on at the end to sign off.
All righty. Well, Nikki, welcome. Nikki is Ardman is delegate candidate in the 38th district. So tell us, we're in the final moments, hours countdown of this primary election. So Nikki, tell us about you and why should folks vote for you?
Well, because I am a true West Virginia girl, Mountain Mama now. But I grew up in the sticks, and I have all of that experience. I've also been on welfare. I've had to deal with having 3 jobs at once, and I've basically climbed myself out of the holler into the city life. And because I have all of these experiences, I can apply what I've learned through my life experiences to legislation for West Virginia and to encompass all of West Virginia rather than specialty groups or corporations. What I've tried to do throughout my career as a teacher is include all of my students and treat them all with respect and make sure that they know that they have value. And I'd like for our West Virginia civilians to know that also. And I need them to know how powerful they are, because this isn't just about me. Honestly, if I lose tomorrow, I'm still going to be a happy person. It's just who I am. And I'll still give my support to whomever the nominee is, and of course to my other Mountain Mamas. But we need more people on board. We need more people who are willing to put themselves out there, to be embarrassed as I am right now to speak in public about certain issues, the issues that are most pertinent to West Virginia. And I think that's been a real problem. I've always been against, no offense to Patty, but I've been against lobbyists having this first voice with our legislators, and I'd really like to evoke some change when it comes to the processes that basically are a part of the status quo that we really need to break free of if we're ever going to break free from stagnation. So I'm hoping I'll win, but if I don't, you still have my support.
Well, it takes a lot of courage, Nikki, and I'll say this to all the Mountain Mamas. It takes a lot of courage to run for office. And, I will say this as a former lobbyist who was a very poor lobbyist, and Patty and I can pretty much relate to some of these things. We both represented the West Virginians and the people in our state. I was in a different state, but I represented children and families. And Patty, of course, worked with counties and local governments. And so I think that there can be some good lobbyists out there. And so I think that's one advantage I think that Patty definitely has, is that she knows how that process works. And so, but in a different vein, having new people come in, having that institutional knowledge in place and people who know how it works, and then having some new people coming in with fresh ideas is always a good thing too. And again, I'll say it over and over and over. We've got a lot of young people in this state, and people say they want to stay. Kids are saying, I want to stay, but if you want to stay, then you need to vote tomorrow. If you want change in West Virginia, you need to vote tomorrow. If you want to see broadband come to West Virginia, then you need to vote tomorrow. And so no excuses. There are no excuses for not voting. So I think what we're going to do now that we are at the 7:30 mark is we're going to, again, most of the Mountain Mamas are out still honking and waving and campaigning and doing what they can to continue to promote their candidacy and talk to constituents as best as they can. So we're going to hop on over to our website, and we're just going to introduce you to some of the Mountain Mamas. And let's just get started now. And we'll also show you our, I'm just going to go to full screen here. We will show, of course, Mountain Mamas, MTN Mama, MAMA, WB.org. And here we are. So let's just start off with Elisa Zukov from the 4th District. And Lisa is running for a seat in the West Virginia House of Delegates, District 4. And she is a lifelong resident of Marshall County and a proud Democrat. I'm going to let you guys read on. So we're going to get through all of these as much as we can. So again, if you want to learn more about Lisa, just go to our website, MTN Mama, MAMA.WB.org. So let's go on to the next one here. Margaret Staggers. Margaret Ann Staggers was born at the, I'm not even going to try and say that, but she was born in Maryland, and she is a 2020 Democrat candidate for District 32 of the West Virginia House of Delegates. She is served in the West Virginia House representing District 32 from 2006 to 2014. So if you want to learn more about Margaret Staggers, just visit our website there. So. And let's go on to Amanda Estep Burton. She is a lifelong West Virginian and proud mother of 4, including twins. As a twin, I know she's got kind of rough sometimes. She believes the backbone of our state is hardworking neighbors, and the greatest responsibility is setting all of our children up for success. By standing together, we can put West Virginia on a brighter path forward. If you would like to know more about Amanda Estep Burton, again, just visit our website. Next up is Cindy Lavender Bow. Cindy is also a lifelong West Virginia. She was born, raised, and educated and works right here in the Mountain State. Her grandfathers were coal miners. Her parents had her very young. They were teen parents who had to drop out of school in order to support their family. But great success story. If you want to learn more about Cindy Lavender Bow, again, visit our website there. Let's see who we got next. Oh, Danielle Walker, Danny 4WV. She is a current delegate in the House of Representatives in West Virginia, representing District 51, which is Monongalia County. With her oratory skills and passion for justice, I will say she's kind of like a preacher on fire. She's on fire. She quickly gained statewide reputation and a following. Danielle has truly devoted her life to service, family, community, and advocacy. And I do know that Danielle is out there right now campaigning and talking with people and truly serving her community. And if you want to learn more about her, visit our website. Let's see. And we just heard from Delegate Evans Flashauer. And again, she is an attorney, a state delegate, mother, wife, daughter, small business owner, outdoor enthusiast, and let's see, community volunteer. Again, she is currently a sitting delegate. So if you would like to learn more about her, visit our website. And I do believe, I'm going to go right back here. We have, I thought we had Kat in here. Let's see. Okay, well, we're just going to keep right on moving along. And next up is Sammy Brown. Sammy is, she was raised in Ranson and Charlestown. She's a lifelong advocate and organizer with a Master's of Business Administration from Shepherd University. Sammy, again, is a sitting delegate. And if you want to learn more, please visit our website. All right, let's see who's up next. Carla Jones. She is a wife, grandmother, a United States Air Force veteran, proud union member, and running for the state Senate to make West Virginia and Senate District 2 better for all West Virginians. So learn more about Carla at our website, mtnmamawv.org. I kind of sound like Vanna White, I think. All right, I did hear someone come in. So Ariana, we're gonna take a little break from sharing our screen because we have Ariana is on with this delegate candidate for District 50 joining us. She just got off the campaign trail waving and honking. And I know it was hot out there, Ariana, but tell us how your day went and what you're looking forward to tomorrow.
Well, the Honking Wave went really well. I think it was my second one. I did one a little bit earlier in the week, but this one was really fun. It was pretty hot out, but we were kind of in the shade, so it was okay. But we got a lot of good responses, so it was a really good feeling. And I'm definitely excited for the election tomorrow, and just kind of ready for it to be over too, just to know the results.
Well, we've heard that sentiment echoed here earlier today, but I will say this, and I've been here. We're going to bring Kat in here as well. Ariana, I've worked with you on these Mondays with Mountain Mamas, and I have to say, and I've seen your TikToks, I follow you there, and you've done a phenomenal job. And it's hard for me to believe that you're as young as you are, but I have to commend you for a job well done. And go Ariana Islam tomorrow, and so give everyone your final pitch, Ariana.
Well, I'm just excited. It's been a long road. I've been campaigning for, I guess, over a year now, putting in the hard work, and it was definitely great to be able to, kind of talk to people again. They were driving by in cars, but just I like getting out to see new people and meet new people and see when they won. And actually, one guy kind of came up to us, still social distance, but he was impressed, and I think I got a vote out of it too. So it's just nice to talk to people and make those connections. That's really what politics is all about. It's just making connections with, your constituents and everything.
Yes, it is a relationship oriented. You are a public servant when you're elected to office, and so you're exactly right. It's about relationships. We say that about social media and digital marketing and those things. And campaigning today really is very much in alignment with social media and digital marketing. Before, advertisers would tell you what you need, and before, politicians would tell you what you need. But today, the tides have changed. And so now advertisers are listening to what we want, and voters are also telling us what they want. So it's great to hear that you're making those connections. You're the youngest candidate of all the Mountain Mamas, right?
Yep, I believe so.
Bravery right out of the gate. Wow, it takes a lot of courage to run for office, folks. It takes a lot of courage, no matter what your age is. It takes a lot of courage. So, congrats. Well, Kat's joined us now. Kat, jump right on in.
Hello, all. I finally made it. Yes, I'm sorry. I haven't had a chance to get myself together, but it was very hot out there, representing for the Democrats in the 35th district with my T-shirt on. But I guess the way I will sum up everything is that it's been a wild and crazy ride. I think that, I had been thinking about running for this position for a little bit. And it's interesting that, when I look back to like 2016 and the aftermath of the elections and the Women's March and being, going down to DC and marching there and, giving voice to some issues, and fast forward to now and being out again protesting this weekend around social injustice. It's just amazing that, folks are galvanized, but we need to turn those protests and the galvanization into votes, something that is tangible, something that will affect some immediate change. We've got to get rid of the good old boys, and I know there's some good guys out there, there's no question about that, but you know who I'm talking about. We know who's kind of been, leading West Virginia in its declining position, and those folks just have to go. So, it's been a pleasure. It's been a privilege to be aligned with you women, you mountain mamas, giving voice to issues that are important. Women are protectors, women are nurturers, women are fighters, women are fierce, and we're flexible, as we've been saying. And I'm just happy to be able to be in a space where we can support one another, encourage one another, even those of us who are running in the same district, like Patty and myself, Kayla, we've really been able to come together and, not compete against one another, but run together. And I know, at least I feel confident in knowing that if one of us happens not to make it, that the others will support. I know that they have my full support going forward, no matter what happens tomorrow. But I'm hoping that we all, make it through. And I wish that for every single mountain mama that's running. I think that we are really change makers, and I'm excited. And if you all haven't checked me out, please do so. I have a website at www.fergusonfordelegate.com. My Facebook page is Kathy Ferguson for the People. Don't hesitate to reach out if you have a question. There's still time if you want to put up a sign or any kind of show of support. I'm happy to receive it, and I'm happy to be able to be a candidate and hopefully a nominee for the 35th district and represent people's issues. That's it.
Well, can I just say that if this is your disheveled look, I want it. That's all if this is your, I just got out and I'm sweaty, I want that. Looks good, Pat. Looks good.
You're so sweet. I'll send a check later. That's coming in the mail.
Okay, that's right. Well, I will say, add to what you just said, Kat, that all of the mountain mamas, for those of you that are watching or on the replay, all of the mountain mamas run their own campaigns independently. What this organization does is everyone does support each other. Many of the candidates are running in the same district, but they support each other. They can talk with each other. They may not always agree with each other, but the whole goal here and the whole point is that, and lifelong friendships have been developed through this group. And again, you're seeing, if someone doesn't make it, that their support will roll over to their fellow mountain mamas. And these are relationships that will continue to grow and allow West Virginians to expand the many facets that we're looking to grow in, the broadband, the economic diversity of humans, and the change that we're seeing across the nation with the protests that are taking place. And so I will say, I'm not running, but it has been a privilege, an absolute privilege to get to know all of you and to listen and hear and just watch you campaign. It's just, to anyone who's still on the fence, I really encourage you to go to the website, www.mtnmamawv.org, and check out our candidates because they are pretty phenomenal human beings. Yeah, I know. So what I think we're going to do, Patty, Ariana, anybody else have anything to say before we switch over to do a final glance of our website real quick?
Well, just real
Yeah, I'd like to very quickly say I really, really admire the diversity within this group of 25 Mountain Mamas. There's diversity in race, age, but there's also a diversity in experience of having run for office. For some of you all just did it. You don't come from a political family. You had no kind of role model. You just, I'm going to do it. I'm going to make change. I really, really admire that. I think it was a much bigger leap for you all than who have, just no background in it at all whatsoever. I think that's just great. And it wasn't that big a leap for me. My dad was in the legislature. I grew up in a political family. I was out wearing stupid hats and giving out cards as a little kid when you could do that at the polls and that kind of thing. So, but when you haven't grown up with that, I just think it's amazing that, because that's a real, I think that's a real, I want to change the world passion. So I love that. I really admire that about so many of you that just decided I'm going to do this. And it was a huge leap for you. So good on you.
Absolutely. Kat, did you want to pitch in on that?
Oh, I mean, well, I was going to say something different, and I will in a minute, but and that Patty's right. I think, there are a lot of individuals that need to be applauded. I know for myself, I like to say, use Cardi B's little terminology. I'm a regular schmegular girl. There's not a whole lot that separates me from the constituents that I'm seeking to represent. There are a lot of people out there with good ideas. There are a lot of good people out there that are good leaders, and they have, thoughts and around policies and things of that nature, but they don't always enter into their arena. And so, I'm happy to step out there and give voice to all the folks, all the things that they're thinking about, because at the end of the day, little old me is not going to be the person that makes the ultimate change. It's going to be done in cooperation, but it's going to require the voice of the people backing and pushing the agenda to make that happen. But what I was going to say originally was I just wanted to take a brief moment to thank you, Sarah. I appreciate you tremendously, and I think I speak on behalf of all the Mountain Mamas. The fact that you have committed your time every Monday as somebody who's not running to support women. You've helped individuals with their frames, which I still don't know what that is, but you did it anyway. You've helped us practice, Zooms and things. And so your marketing ability, your perseverance, and your patience with us, I cannot thank you enough. There's no way that I would even be remotely where I am in terms of my social media presence and in terms of the things that I'm producing were it not for you and your instruction. So I thank you so much. I will just never forget it, and you are going to get something from me. Just know that because it's worth something. It definitely is worth something. I appreciate it.
The pleasure is really all mine. As you all know, I have been involved in the political and the legislative environment for many years, and I came back to West Virginia hoping to see change. And I have to tell you, in 2007, I was very disappointed when I got back. And so I want to see change. And if you want to see change, you have to get involved. And I'm not going to be running for office anytime soon. But what I can do is affect change with the very small talent that I have in this arena. So thank you. And again, it's been my privilege, and I'm just in awe. Again, Ariana is that youth and that energy and that passion and desire to make a difference, and everybody feels that way. But when you're 18, 19 years old, and I mean, that's just tough as nails. I'm going to go out there and change the world attitude, and I love it. And that's what disappoints me so much about the numbers that Patty was speaking of on terms of young people voting. I mean, come on, kids. I mean, you want you're the ones who are out there that want change. And I'll just say this. I mean, my parents are older, and so we have a lot of voters who are older, and we got to have a succession plan here in West Virginia, folks. I mean, we got to have a succession plan. And so it's due. I think with all the recent things that have been happening, and you see literally call for action across the world in terms of the racial inequalities and the change that people want to see. I don't think that's limited to race or diversity. I think that's just the tip of the iceberg. I think they just really want change across the board with economic diversity and opportunity and education and everything that we keep talking about, but we just keep talking about it. And so I'm hoping that everybody watching this, either live or on the replay, and you're young and you haven't voted yet, you better get out there and vote tomorrow, and make sure you understand who you're voting for. And that's, again, another great opportunity to visit our website, which is, again, mtnmama.org. So I just brought DL back in. She's our fearless leader of sorts.
Okay, well, we only got past the incumbents in the Senate on our website because thankfully some more mamas joined us, and we'd rather hear from them than look at a website. But we do hope that you will visit the website. Every one of the 25 Mountain Mamas has a page there. You can learn more about them. There's also a sign up page, because we hope that the website allows us to build a database so that we can start connecting you with Mountain Mamas and do, either remotely or because you live close to them, some real volunteer help before the November election, so that those Mountain Mamas become legislators. And at the very first show, I was talking about how there's really 5 new ones, because Margaret Staggers had served in the legislature before. So 5 new women who ran as Mountain Mamas joined the 3 who had some legislative experience. And anyone who pays attention to the West Virginia legislative process, I think, saw and heard that these 8 Mountain Mamas did change the face of the West Virginia legislature. They did change the voice of the legislature. And as far as I know, it might be people like Ariana and Nikki and others who saw people like Danny and Sammy and Cindy and Amanda out there speaking up, speaking out, and thought, I want to join them. I want to add my voice. I agree. We need to move this state forward. We need change. And we have seen enough enthusiasm and excitement among the voters and other people of the state about Mountain Mamas, that we are really hoping that at some point there is a Mountain Mamas movement, because women are multitaskers. Women can get things done, and it will just really help everybody if more women get to vote aye or nay for the issues that come up for West Virginia. Mountain Mamas does not recruit candidates. So we think that, don't just get involved, think about running. And hopefully there will be people to support you. But if you are Mountain Mama material And that doesn't mean that you have to think A, B, C, D. That means you have to have a forward-thinking philosophy. You have to be open-minded. You have to embrace everyone that is welcome and has a role in helping this society. And mostly, you just want to be a part of a group of women who are helping each other. So we really hope there's even more Mountain Mamas on the ballot in 2022. But right now, we want 25 Mountain Mamas on the general election ballot. I am confident that there are going to be more than 8 Mountain Mamas in the West Virginia legislature. Yeah, and so hopefully our motto next time is more than a dozen or more than 20, whatever it is. But I'm pretty sure that we're going to have more than 8 Mountain Mamas, and that's going to make a difference. So we will be back next week with a bit of a debrief about the election, whoever wants to come on. And we've also been involved in the various actions throughout the state to defend Black lives over the past week. And so we will make those events Mountain Mama events, and we will give some updates. Perhaps the I Can't Breathe event that was postponed will be rescheduled, and we can give you some information on that, because Mountain Mamas are sincere. When we say we are for something, that we will work for something, we do it. And we are part of several communities. The Mountain Mamas that are there have people know about them beyond their district because of the leadership they've put into justice reform, into cannabis, into trauma-informed schools, into all kinds of issues that are important to everyone. And as you know, they bring the passion, they bring the knowledge, and they bring a group of people behind them that, it just has to make a difference. And we have to try. We cannot buy into this, let's go back to whatever, because West Virginia has often been on the bottom, and we have to move forward, and we can do that with Mountain Mamas. And so I hope that we have great news for you next Monday. And everybody, call 5 people tomorrow, make sure they voted, help them out, and
if you offer rides, if someone can't make it to the poll, offer rides. And I'll say this deal real quick. What I see these women doing is actually problem solving and not participating in things that aren't helping West Virginia move forward. That's what I'm seeing, is a lot of ideas and different solutions, new ideas to actually help us. Because West Virginia can't go any further down. There's nowhere else to go. We are at the bottom of the barrel. And so these women will help us lift us up and lift us out. So,
and Sarah, I just want to underscore everything that Kat said. You have made it so much easier and better to try to help these women get elected. And you are just such a pro at, being fierce and flexible, as we've had to be. But I also wanted to commend you on talking about relationships, because relationships are the key to changing minds. Someone was asking me why I didn't unfriend or block a real what that gets on my page. And I said, because Facebook is not real life. You cannot, these are people that you live with. These are people that you have to work with. And these are people that have to somehow coalesce to do the things that need to be done in West Virginia. So I do not do that. But the relationship building that I have witnessed among the Mountain Mamas, both in 2018 and in 2020, has been truly beautiful to behold. And those 8 that ended up, for the most part, very close together in offices at the Capitol, they knew each other, they worked together, they listened to each other, and that same kind of bond has built. It will be even more so in the general, because we do have several Mountain Mamas that don't have to worry that they are safe through November, and we need to get them elected again. But just as we go forward, as you go forward, just remember, everybody's has a confirmation bias and wants to hear what they want to hear until they have a relationship with you. And then once it's a personal connection, hopefully there's something in our hearts and minds that open up, and we can all move forward for a better West Virginia, because as Sarah said, we have to. So until next Monday, Sarah, thank you.
Thank you, ladies. We'll see you next week. Good luck.
Good luck, everybody.
Go vote. Go vote.
Vote, vote, vote.
Vote. Vote. Vote.
Bye.